Sawadee and good afternoon. Today is Friday, the 3rd of December, 2021, and this is the English language summary of the press briefing by the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration, or CCSA. Before sharing with all of you the usual statistics and updates on the COVID situation here in Thailand, let me briefly note some of the important highlights from the Thai briefing delivered just now, which spent a bit of time on the global regional situation of the Omicron variant, as well as domestic efforts here in Thailand to heighten our vigilance in this respect. The Thai briefing also mentioned that there continue to be a number of infection clusters in the country. However, the Loi Krathong celebrations have not yielded any new clusters, which speaks actually to the effectiveness of our measures and the very good cooperation we are receiving from the public. So thank you for that. Let me turn now to the usual statistics and updates we have for our viewers and listeners at home. Regarding Thailand Pass, we are updating today with the slide you have in front of you, progress in our reopening of the country. So let's have a look at those slides the team has prepared for you today. As of 9 a.m. today, we have logged a total of 372,987 applications on the Thailand Pass system. And of that number, a total of 291,752 have been approved, of which almost 150,000 were auto-approved. Another slide that we have for you to understand these numbers in more daily terms is that during 1 to 2 December 2021, 16,210 travelers entered the country. And of this number, the majority, or 13,203 travelers, entered via the Test and Go or quarantine exemption scheme. 2,572 entered via the Sandbox scheme, and 435 through the alternative quarantine scheme. The majority of international travelers are coming from these top 10 countries of origin, namely Germany, Romania, Denmark, Japan, Israel, Russia, Australia, France, the Netherlands, and Finland. Out of the total number of travelers, only 18 tested positive for COVID-19, which represents 0.11%. Turning now to the progress in our vaccination drive, we have for you another slide to follow on with statistics there. Yesterday, we administered 527,029 doses of vaccines, which increases the accumulated number of vaccinations to more than 94 million doses. 67.7% of the population in Thailand, therefore, have now received their first dose, and 58.3%, or almost 42 million people, have received their second dose. Turning now to the general situation of infections, recoveries, and fatalities for you. The new confirmed cases, another relatively low number at 4,912 cases. It brings our total up to 2,130,641 cases. Those active cases total 72,761 of that number, and we have new recoveries logging at 5,844 cases. New fatalities, unfortunately today we are still seeing fatalities, but it is a lower number at 33 cases. The next slide that we will have on screen for you now, as we usually do, represents the top 10 provinces with COVID-19 cases. So you see there a list of provinces that are marking in the top 10 COVID infections. The ones in green represent an increase from the previous day, And I'm sorry, the one in green represent a decrease from the previous day, and the one in red, of course, represents an increase from the previous day. Another slide that may be of interest to our viewers and listeners that we have for you today as well is an updated list of the sandbox areas. In front of you, you have 7 sandbox provinces whereby the whole province is included, namely Bangkok, Krabi, Kanchanaburi, Nonthaburi, Pathum Thani, Phang Nga, and Phuket. Another list that we have for you today is the 19 sandbox provinces whereby only some parts or districts of the province are included. This, of course, covers all regions of Thailand. And there you have the list for you in front of you there. Turning now quickly to the COVID-19 vaccination for the public in the Bangkok metropolitan area in particular. The BMA, or Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, has opened up COVID-19 vaccine registration for both Thais and non-Thais aged 18 years and above. The service will provide a first dose for those who have never received the vaccine before, as well as a second and third dose. Registration can be made via the QQ application, that is QUEQ application, from now onwards. If persons cannot register through the app, you may also register at the vaccination site, which is the Wade Sports Building, number 2, at the Bangkok Youth Center, the Thai-Japanese Bangkok Youth Center, in fact, in Din Dang area. The site opens from 8 o'clock to 1600 hours every day. For those who wish to vaccinate as a group, which means 10 persons or more, you may do so by filling out a form through the QR code. For more information on this, please do contact the BMA Health Office, and the number for you there is 02-203-2883. And I believe we have that on screen for you. If not, I will just repeat that number, which is 02-203-2883. Let me now turn and bring everyone's attention to a misleading news report on the government's measures for international travelers from Africa, and let you know that a particular newspaper, for those who are not aware, a particular newspaper ran an article yesterday with a headline that mentioned that the government is, and I quote, hunting for African visitors, unquote, in Thailand. Let me state clearly and unequivocally that this headline does not in any way reflect the government's policy and or approach, nor does it characterize any of the procedures the government has put in place thus far. In fact, it was a very poor choice of words, and we hope the editors will take good note of the negative feedback it has already elicited. As was explained at the previous CCSA Thai briefing, the related authorities have been trying to reach out through SMS and other approved channels to all travelers, regardless of nationality, who enter Thailand from 8 specific countries in southern Africa where the Omicron variant was first detected, for their kind cooperation to receive, at the expense of the government, another COVID-19 test in the interest of public health. There were some further updates given today in the Thai briefing on travelers from these countries who entered the country within the last 2 weeks. At present, no infections have been reported or found, and the health authorities thank the travelers for their kind cooperation. Before closing today, let me highlight that we are in a pandemic that we are fighting together against, and we are all in this together, which means all hands are on board to get through this difficult time. And hopefully we do so with a little bit of humor, a lot of humility, and above all, respect for one another and for the work that we do to get ourselves on track. I encourage everyone who is able to get vaccinated to do so as soon as possible and to continue to practice universal prevention. Please always be reminded that no one is safe until everyone is safe. That's all I have for today. And during this holiday month, as we celebrate with our friends and family, please take extra care and stay safe. สวัสดีค่ะ